Good morning, Algebra ELT. For ELT today, I'm really going to focus on the inequalities and exponents. This is going to be your last video for this week. There will be a new video next Monday. The reason being is all this week you're doing exponents and inequalities. So when I look at this inequality, I'm going to solve it like I would by solving an equation. The first thing I'm going to do is make my parentheses go away by distributing this 4. I'm going to bring down the 112. I'm going to bring down the less than or equal to sign, and then 4 times 6b is 24b. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. I'm going to split my inequality, and I'm going to isolate my variable. I'm going to add 16 to both sides. I'm left with 24b is greater than or equal to negative 12 plus 16 would be a negative 96. And then I'm just going to divide. I'm dividing on each side by positive 24. And I get b is greater than or equal to a negative divided by a positive is a negative. And then 24 times 3, 6 would be 72. 24 times 4, oh awesome, is 96. So negative 4 is the value we got. That is less than or equal to b. So negative 4 is less than or equal to b. We could write this with the variable first. B needs to be greater than or equal to negative 4. So b can be negative 4. B could be negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. It could be 100. It could be any number that's bigger than negative 4. So since b could be equal to negative 4, I shade in the dot. I use a closed circle is what that's called. Then I'm going to shade this way because as I go this way, I get greater. And that is what I would do for 31. For number 33, same thing. I'm going to start by distributing this 3. I get negative 85 is less than negative 7 plus 12p plus 6. Then I have a negative 7 and a positive 6. So negative 7 plus 6 is a negative 1 plus 12p. Split my equation. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. 12p is greater than negative 85 plus 1 is negative 84. Okay, the last thing I have to do is divide by 12. Divide by 12. P is greater than negative 84 divided by 12 is a negative 7. So negative 7 is less than p. If negative 7 is less than p, p is greater than negative 7. So I'm going to put my dot at negative 7. Notice, there was no equal to sign. So I'm going to keep my dot opened because that means p cannot be negative 7. It can only be greater than negative 7. And if I'm going greater than negative 7, I'm going to the right. After you do that, you have some exponent practice. So positive exponents only. When we get our final answer, okay, I'm multiplying. I'm multiplying 3 times 2, that's 6. And then I have k to the second power times 3 to the third power. K to the second power means k times k. I'm multiplying k twice. K to the third power means I'm doing k times k times k. So total, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 k's being multiplied. So that's how we get k to the fifth. The short way to do it, which you'll see in your foldable, is just add. When I multiply, I add my exponents. 2 plus 3 is 5. So this becomes 6k to the fifth power. So all of these you do the same way. Here I would do 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, I got rid of my coefficients. V times v to the second power. I have 1v here, and then v to the second power means v times v. So total, how many v's am I multiplying? 3. V to v, third power. And then, when we go on to the next page, we get to some things a little bit more complicated. So remember, when we're solving an equation, we want to distribute first or get rid of those parentheses. Same thing goes for here. I want to get rid of these parentheses. So I'm going to get rid of this parentheses too. So m to the negative fourth is raised to the 0 power. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So this m to the negative fourth just becomes a 1. Anything times 1 is just itself. So I am left with 2n to the negative third, all raised to the third power. So this is in your foldable. If I have a power raised to a power, I multiply them together. So negative 3 times 3 is a negative 9. But I also have this coefficient, 2 to the third power would be 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Remember our instructions said we should only have positive exponents. So since n was raised to the negative 9, I'm going to leave the 8 alone and then move my n to the denominator. So my final answer would be 8 over 9, or n to the 9th power. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this one. So I have a lot of parentheses here. I'm going to get rid of these parentheses first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this negative 4 times 0 and this negative 4 times 8. So I'm going to bring this down, times. Okay, so 2 to the negative 4th power would be 1 over 2 to the 4th power which would equal 1/8. Negative 4 times 0 is 0, so this goes away. Negative 4 times 2 is a negative 8. So I would get y to the positive 8 if I put it in the denominator. So basically, this whole thing becomes 1 over 8y to the 8th power. So this is my numerator, this is my denominator. So I'm going to write negative 2, also x to the 0, we know that goes away, y to the 5th over 8 y to the 8th, and this is all to the negative 4th power. So basically, if I have negative 2 to the negative 4th power, that's the same as having 1 over negative 2 to the 4th power, which would equal 1 over, so negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4, times a negative 2 is a negative 8, times a negative 2 is a positive 16. So this becomes 1/16. And then 8 to the negative 4th power is the same as 1 over 8 to the 4th power, which would equal 1 over. So 8 times 8 is 64. Times 8 equals 512. Times 8 equals 4,096.